Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life this evening. It is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, and it is great to be with you. And we have a fantastic show for you. So, if you're new here, I want to take the opportunity to say welcome and thank you for joining me. If you're coming back, well, welcome back and thank you so much for joining me again. I always appreciate people that enjoy the quality of my content. All right, guys. So if you have not checked out believemeachieve.com, what are you waiting for? You can check that out after the show is over at believemeachieve.com. Get my short form content, long form content, and so much else, including articles and lots of different things. So definitely, I think you're gonna wanna check that out and see, what's going on because there's a lot of great stuff there that I think you guys will really, I think you'll really enjoy. All right. So, without further ado, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and start the show. Again, it is a privilege and pleasure to be with all of you today. And so, let's just dive right in. All right. So, this whole week we're talking about something pretty interesting. And to think about that for just a moment, I want to dive into something called social momentum. So, social momentum is a cheat code. The more you give, the more doors quietly open for you. By the way, this is John C. Morley. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm an engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, graduate student, and above all, a passionate lifelong learner. And today on Inspirations for Your Life, I'm turning networking from awkward and transactional into simple daily micro moves that build relationships and unshakable momentum. Send a quote unquote just checking in message to someone. Reach out to one person with no agenda at all. Just a quick, hey, thinking of you and how's everything going? These light touches keep relationships warm so opportunities don't die in silence. Comment meaningfully on one post, not just a like. Instead of mindlessly tapping like, leave a thoughtful comment that adds value or insight for others. People remember those who actually engage with their ideas, not just their content. I think that's something that a lot of people they forget about for some reason. All right. And so I want to share something with you, and no pun intended here. Share one helpful resource with a contact. Send an article, video, or tool that genuinely fits something they care about. When you become a source of useful resources, people naturally see you as valuable and plugged in. Ask someone, how can I support you this week? Nobody probably asks you that question. This one question will put you ahead of everyone else, and it instantly shifts you from taker energy to giver energy. Even if they ask for something small, you positioned yourself as an ally in their success. Congratulate someone on perhaps a recent win, message or comment to celebrate a promotion, launch, award, or milestone. Sharing a spotlight on others builds goodwill and shows you're paying attention. I think sometimes people they do things because they get caught in the moment, right? They don't necessarily understand things. They're going through the motions. Okay. They're going through the motions. And by going through the motions, that's pretty cool, right? So join one conversation you'd normally skip. If you'd universally be quiet in a group chat, meetings, or events, intentionally join one of those discussions. A brief, thoughtful contribution can make you visible in rooms where you were once invisible. Introduce two people who should know each other. Think of two contacts who could benefit from connecting. And make a short, respectful intro. Great connectors are remembered and included when big ideas and projects come around for fruition. Share one small win publicly. And again, it's not about boasting, it's not about bragging. It's about you doing something and then you can celebrate it. And when people see there's value, but they also see that you're not trying to like manipulate, because a lot of people do that, right? They try to manipulate you because they think that they can get their way by manipulating you. I think that's an important thing to understand, guys. If we understand that, then I think your life will be a lot easier for not just you, but for people that are around you, right? I think those are very important things to be aware of. So again, share one small win publicly. How about posting a quick win, completing a project, hitting a milestone, or learning something new, sharing progress? Again, without bragging. There's a difference between sharing and there's a difference to rubbing in somebody's face. That's what we call bragging. And I think sometimes it makes some sense, right? And sometimes it doesn't. So if that's the case, um, we can understand like what's happening, right? And so the thing about it is people sometimes don't understand how things work. So they do something else. Okay. Um, maybe you're stuck because of something that's transpired in the world. Maybe. And maybe you're just not sure which way to go. Inspire others. And when you do this, it signals that you're in motion. Ask one thoughtful question in a meeting. Come prepared with a question that shows, hey, I'm engaged and I'm thinking. The right question can position you as insightful, not just present for the moment. Follow up on an old email or a lead. Dig into your inbox and revive one conversation that went cold. Many opportunities aren't lost, they're just waiting for a simple, intentional follow up. Offer some feedback that is kind and specific. If someone asks for input, skip the vague comments like, it looks good, and give one clear, constructive, insightful one. Thoughtful feedback builds trust and deeper professional bonds. You know, even if you don't like what the person's doing, I think it's very important to realize that that's the whole gist, right? When we understand the whole gist, then we can go from there. We can do so much cool stuff. But if we can't do that, then how is it that we're able to move from point A to point B? Well, we're not. We just get stagnant. And they were like, oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? And so doing these things in a certain way can literally help you. Okay. And it can help you understand like where you are, where you're coming from, where you're going. I think that's very, very important. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? I mean, I'm hoping it does. But I know that some people, they get stuck. They get stuck because of a feeling that they suddenly run into. They get stuck because, well, their energy gets zapped. Because people around them are takers and not givers, or not, balancing both ways. Attend one virtual or in-person event. Show up somewhere new, a meetup, a webinar, chamber event. Being in the room, the physical or the virtual, creates serendipity you can't get alone at your desk. Now, there are events you can go to, and then there are people that aren't going to help you. When you've experienced that, don't go back to them, right? We've all been with groups that maybe were not as, let's say, forthcoming as they should be. They're there. If you get big, they want to be around you. But when you're small, they have no interest in you. That's selfish. Practice your 10-second self-intro. Do you know your 10-second self-intro? Hi, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, a video producer, marketing specialist, keynote speaker, and a person that's passionate as an engineer and a lifelong learner to help you become a better version of yourself. What is it that you want to learn more about? Pretty compelling, right? Most people, hi, my name is John. I sell this, or I'm Joe, and I work for a sprinkler company. And we put sprinkler systems in for half the price of what many of the people in the neighborhood do. Yap, 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 yap. Or, hi, I'm Fred, and I work for a tile company. And I like to come into your house, and I'd like to go ahead and tile your kitchen and bathrooms, and I'll go ahead and carpet one of your rooms for free. No, Fred. Craft a simple, clear line about who you are, what you do, so you never stumble when someone asks. But if you're trying to be pushy about something, guess what, guys? You're not going anywhere. You are not going anywhere. A confident intro helps people remember you and what to send your way. Reply to a message you've been ignoring. And I know that sounds like something that maybe doesn't make sense, but if it does fit you, then take the message. Pick one DM, an email, or perhaps a text. One that you've let sit for way too long, and respond to it right now. See, close the loops, and you'll reduce social friction and show you respect the relationship. I've had people that I text, right? And you might say, what do you do? This is a great question. What do you do? Oh, there's more to it than that, guys. What do you do when a friend stops using your business and won't return your calls when they promise to spend more with you on a verbal contract? That's a tough one. Nobody wants to be in that position. When a friend stops using your business and ghosts you after a verbal, I'll spend more with you promise, it hurts on two levels, business and personal. There are really three parts to handle here: your outreach, your boundaries, and what you learn for the next time. Try one last clear, low-pressure check-in. Send one final message, text, or email, something like, hey, hope all is well. I've noticed things went quiet on the project side. Totally okay if plans change, no hard feelings, but it would help me a lot to know where things stand so I can plan my schedule and business. Can you let me know if you still see us working together or if you decided to go another direction? This gives them an easy out while still respecting your time and asking for clarity. Many businesses, coaches suggest a closing the loop style message for unresponsive clients to either re-engage them or give you closure. Decide if it's worth pushing the verbal contract. In many places, verbal contracts can be legally enforceable if you show there was a clear offer, acceptance, and exchange of value, but they're hard, emotional, and often expensive to prove. When friends, lawyers, Well, they warned that informal handshake style agreements are one of the fastest ways to damage both the business and the relationship, which is why they recommend written terms if you ever wanted to pursue it seriously. Unless there's a lot of money involved, it's usually not worth going legal. Instead, you treat it as a painful but powerful business lesson. Protect your energy and business going forward. If they still don't respond after the last message, stop chasing. Continue to call and text only drains your energy and signals you'll tolerate being disrespected as a vendor. Quietly move them from friend client to no longer as an active client. Adjust your pipeline and put your focus on people who show up, pay, and communicate. For the future, get promises in writing, even a simple email or short agreement whenever money, time, or capacity is involved. Treat friends as clients once business is on the table. Clear scope, pricing, timelines, and expectations. Have a mental rule. No more counting on verbal. I'll give you more business soon as real revenue until it's booked and it's confirmed. Emotionally separate your worth from their behavior. Their ghosting says more about their communication style and integrity than about your value as a pro. You can choose to leave the door cracked open personally. If they'll ever apologize and want to talk, I'll decide then, without letting them occupy your head or your focus and your forecast. If you'd like a specific closing the loop message that matches your tone, there are other things you could do, like, hey, I was just hoping, we could get together for coffee. So one might be, hey, I've sent emails and a certified mail, and now I'm handing you this letter and hoping you will read it and we can get together for a coffee soon to discuss. And then what do you do if they ignore you? What do you do if they ignore you? I think it burns a lot of our time, a lot of our energy, right? When you email somebody, you send something certified and even handed a letter to the person, you've already gone above and beyond. At that point, the next step is to protect your dignity, your time, and your business. Use one last calm face saving message. If you're going to hand them a letter and speak, something like this works. Hey, I sent a few messages in a letter because I value both our friendship and the work we've done together. I'd really appreciate the chance to sit down for a quick coffee. Clear the air. Understand where things stand. If you're open to that, please let me know what day works for you in the next week or two. Then you stop. Don't chase past this. If they ignore you after that, do you know what you do? And it's not an easy thing, guys. You take their silence as a decision. No reply is a reply. No reply is a reply. I think that's a hard one for a lot of people to digest. The no reply is a reply. I think that's something that a lot of people, for whatever reason, they just kind of they get all bent out of shape, right? And, maybe it's for a few $1,000s, maybe it's for $10,000. Even though that money might seem like everything to you, the amount of time, the amount of effort, and knowing how that person or the organization treated you, or the typical one is when they use, some college kid or somebody who claims to be an expert there, but they've only been there like a few months. And suddenly you find out they're the ones that make all the decisions. And then when you go back to talk to them, They don't seem to want to talk to you. That's hard, guys. It's extremely hard. I think if you can understand that whole piece, then maybe you'd be able to realize that sometimes, just sometimes, these things go away that we don't want them to go, right? I'm not saying that you have to go that way, but when somebody ignores you to a point that, they just, what would that do to you? Does it make you angry? Does it make you just say hi? I think it just gets me to go from being overly friendly to just being cordial. And when they ask for something in the future, don't help them. Don't help them. I mean this, guys. I mean this with my whole mind. If you handle this in this kind of manner, you're going to find that you don't need to chase people. You don't need to chase people. Maybe you're saying to myself, John, I don't know what to do. So you can use one last calm face saving message. If you're going to hand them the letter, like I said, hey, I've sent a few messages and a letter because I value both our friendship and the work we've done together. I'd really appreciate a chance to sit down for a quick coffee to clean the air. Then you stop. If they ignore you, take the silence, as I said, as no reply is a reply. Internally, move them into the no longer a client folder. Stop initiating business conversations and stop building plans that depend on them. Your energy is better invested in clients and partners who respect communication boundaries. How to handle it emotionally and practically? Remind yourself, I handled this professionally and respectfully. I gave them every chance to respond. Their avoidance is about their conflict style, not my worth. Remember, any expectations of future work or spending from your forecasts. Tighten your policies. No more verbal promises anymore or handshakes. If they show up later, if they eventually reach out, you can decide your boundaries then. You might say, hey, happy to reconnect personally, but for business, I now use written agreements and deposits so we're both clear and protected. If the ghosting cut deep, you're also allowed to simply be polite but distant. So when somebody ghosts you, that's a way that they just don't want to go further anymore. And sometimes you think somebody is your friend or they're to help you when what you find out is they're nothing but a big phony. And that can be the hardest thing that you learn. They might be the most popular person around, but they play people. Say thank you to a mentor or supporter and send a quick note acknowledging someone who helped you recently or long ago. Gratitude deepens relationships and often reopens powerful connections. But when the other side doesn't want to reciprocate, you can't burn energy on that. Offer to help without expecting anything back. Let someone know if you ever need help with X. Feel free to reach out. Offering genuine, no strings attached help makes your network stronger and more loyal. Share a lesson you recently learned. Post or tell someone practical lessons you picked up from a win or a failure. People connect fast with honest, useful stories. They make your expertise relatable. I think that's an important one to realize. Celebrate someone else's success as if it's yours. Go beyond politeness. Amplify their achievement. Share their post or call it out in a room. Acting like someone else's win is also a win for the community. This will make you magnetic, a high caliber person, and someone that's highly respected. Ask someone about their goals, not just their job. What are you working toward this year? Goes way deeper than what do you do? Goals reveal where people are headed and where you might be able to support them. Turn the small, real talk with one deeper question instead of stopping at weather and weekends. Gently ask a deeper question like, what's something you're excited about right now? One step deeper can turn forgettable interactions into real connections. Respond with curiosity instead of defensiveness. When someone questions you or gives feedback, ask, tell me more about how you see it. Instead of shutting down, curiosity strengthens trust and shows emotional maturity. Be the first to say hello in a room, whether it's a networking event or a Zoom call. Be the one who breaks the ice. That simple, hi, everyone, that energy will make you memorable and approachable. Leave one positive review or testimonial. Write a kind, honest review for a person, business, podcast, or service you value. People praise others, and it's powerful with relationships. And this deposit that costs you only a few minutes can pay you back infinitely in life. Share someone's work on your platform. Post their article, video, project, tag them with genuine compliment. And when you help others gain visibility, they rarely forget it. Connect with one person outside your industry, reach beyond your usual circle, different field, background, or even age group. Diverse networks are more creative, more resilient, and where your biggest opportunities will come from. Update one part of your professional profile. Refresh your headline, photo, or about section so it reflects who you are now. A sharp profile works for you 24/7, even when you are asleep. So join or interact in one online community post, comment, or introduce yourself in a group aligned with your interests or goals. Showing up consistently in one community can lead to long-term friendships and clients. And end a conversation with a clear next step if needed. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Be sure to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I'll catch you real soon, everyone. And remember, don't let people disempower you. Use it as a lesson so you can be better in the future.